You want to talk about evil? Let's not go to history books. Let's talk about the men in suits, the ones with the pens and the looks. Because the devil don't come with horns anymore. He comes with a podium, a flag, and a score. Let me introduce you to 3 men in a state, and the ICC case that's sealing their fate. Yeah. Let me talk about Bibby, the man with the gavel, a criminal defendant who sent kids to gravel. Corruption indicted but dodged every charge by keeping a genocide conveniently large. He played the victim while signing the orders, ethnically cleansing on both sides of the borders. His trial got paused when the bombs started falling. Coincidence? Nah, that's political stalling. A man facing prison who handed out death, trading Palestinian lives for his own dying breath. He wrapped himself in trauma, weaponized the grief of every Jewish grandmother to play the role of chief. Never again became the slogan for the bombs, dropping on the children sleeping quietly in their moms. So who's the terrorist running the state? The ICC got his name. Now let the world adjudicate. This ain't anti-Semitism, this is holding power accountable. The crimes committed in that land are thoroughly documentable. From the Nakba to the famine, every chapter has a witness, and the verdict of history won't forget this. Now Smotrich, the settler, the finance minister fraud, who said Palestinians don't exist before God. A man who controls the West Bank's every dollar, making sure no Palestinian rises past his collar. He called for whoever to be wiped off the map, and smiled for the cameras and straightened his cap. A government budget with settlements first, while children in Gaza are dying of thirst. He draws the new borders with biblical quotes, using scripture as cover while he counts his votes. Theology twisted to justify theft. Tell me what kind of God would approve what is left? 3 men in a government that history will indict, not as defenders of a people, but as killers of the light. They sold the world a narrative, then shot it full of holes when they blocked the food and water and the medicine and the scrolls. This ain't anti-Semitism, this is holding power accountable. The crimes committed in that land are thoroughly documentable. From the Nakba to the famine, every chapter has a witness, and the verdict of history won't forget. But Ben Gvir, oh Ben Gvir, now here's the punchline. Convicted of terror support, 8 charges, that's fine. Cause when a Palestinian throws a single stone, they get a military tribunal and die alone. But Ben Gvir worship Kahain, a man on the list of designated terrorists. You getting the gist. He hung his portrait proudly on his living room wall, got appointed national police chief down the hall. The terrorist became the one policing the street. The irony is criminal, the hypocrisy's complete. He marched into Al-Aqsa just to flex and provoke, then handed out weapons to settlers like it was a joke. Gave guns to civilians, burning villages down, then called the Palestinian savages in his own town. And when the final verdict comes from the long arc of time, no amount of propaganda gonna cover up this crime. Palestine was here before and Palestine remains. You cannot build a future on a people's blood and chains. And when the dust settles and the cameras go dark and the bombs stop falling and the dogs stop their bark, 3 names will remain carved, not in glory but in shame, etched into the history of humanity's most painful frame. Bibby held the pen while the children filled the grave. Smotrich drew the borders over everything they gave. Ben Gvir handed weapons to the wolves inside the gate, then called the bleeding lamb the one filled up with hate. But the lamb had a name, Gaza Janin, Ramallah, Sheikh Jarrah too. And every name that buried is a witness against you. So when you stand before whatever judgment waits ahead, remember every olive tree, remember every name of every dead. Because Palestine was here before your flags and before your walls, and Palestine will be standing long after your empire falls. They said never again, but the wounds still remain. Different names, same tears, different years, same pain. Olive trees still grow where the ashes were laying. Never again is a promise, not a phrase in vain. Never again, not just words we say. Never again, while children fade away. Never again, if it means today, then never again has to start this way.